The information presented is for informational purposes only. The opinions expressed are not necessarily the opinions of any Daikin company. This information should not be confused for accounting, legal, medical, or other professional advice. Please seek advice from a qualified professional for any specific questions.
Welcome to the Accelerated HVAC Success program. My name is Ben Middleton. I'm the National Sales Training Manager for the Goodman, Amana, and Daikin brands. Today, I'm joined with Aaron Salow. He is the co-founder and CEO of XOi Technologies. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us.
Ben, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So as we start these out, I like to ask everybody, how in the world did you find yourself getting into this industry we call HVAC?
I was born into blue-collar trades, not specifically HVAC, but born in a small town in Michigan. Grandparents were farmers. Dad was a manufacturer. All my aunts and uncles worked in the trade. So from a young age, I had a deep appreciation and pride for people that work with their hands. It was something that was core to who we are. And frankly, I didn't really realized there's other things you could do until I got a little bit older. I was like, oh, I guess there's lawyers and accountants and people that do these kind of things as well, because everyone I knew and loved did these things. And so that really kind of led me to a career, which was not only working in factories and in the field in some respects, but also kind of professionally going beyond that to, gosh, how do we solve problems in the industry? So I always say that I have a deep passion for blue collar people. I have a mission that kind of aligns with not wanting to see people only express their talent with their hands, but with their head, and hopefully we built something at XOi that can do that. But that was the path from day one to here.
So one of the things I hear you talk about a lot is technician enablement.
Yeah.
What do you mean by technician enablement?
Yeah, so I think in HVAC specifically in field service, you've seen this kind of big investment over the last 2 decades around kind of technology for the business. How do we organize the business? How do we dispatch, schedule, get technicians to the right place at the right time? And for the large part, that kind of job site experience, the curb to curb, if you will, simply wasn't being addressed. It was, okay, we got you to the site. Good luck. And you should be able to figure it out. You're smart and go ahead and rock on. The reality is there's lots of things the technician's accountable for there, not just fixing the equipment. They got to communicate with the office. They have the customer who's wondering what's going on. It's inherently mysterious to a customer. They don't know what it means when you say, I've got a leaky compressor, or I've got an issue. I've got a hermetic seal problem. They're like, what? How much does this cost me? And so we see this as a tool that aligns with technicians' activity on site to empower them to do the right thing every time, communicate more effectively, not have to do things they don't want to have to do, and enable them to focus on the work they took that job to focus on, which is diagnosing and fixing equipment.
So you got your start off, and actually you played with kind of a fun technology of the time. You played with the Google glasses. And what were some of the lessons that you learned as you started getting out there with technicians and seeing what was going on the job site? Maybe what were some of the misses that you had, and what were some of the things that you learned to be able to develop to where we are today?
It's hard to believe that was over 10 years ago.
Right.
I don't know if you remember this, but people were walking around calling people glass holes. They said, look at that guy with Google Glass, right? But everyone thought it was the new thing. That was an impetus for starting the business. We were able to get, a business started by saying, gosh, we can solve a skilled trades gap problem, because if you can see what a young guy sees in the field and hear what he hears, you can help him in real time, and then he's hands-free, and this is perfect. And we deployed thousands of smart glasses into the HVAC ecosystem. There's lots of articles that are, 8 years old written about that. The reality was the hardware itself, hardware's hard. And it also created a kind of a gap between actually using the technology every single time and kind of having continuous use cases. And then what we were finding were episodic use cases. Because the pain was so deep when someone had a problem on a unit, when they described it, it was like, oh, this happens all the time. In reality, it's just so painful that they were like, yeah, it happens a couple times a month, but man, it stinks, and we're on site forever, and technical services isn't helping us, and my guy wasn't available. And so we realized, gosh, you have to have something the technicians trust on every job. And so we pivoted away from smart glasses and said, man, some of these guys have flip phones, just got smartphones last year. For us to go from a flip phone to put this $2,000 smart glass on your face and keep it charged, use the hotspot on your phone, don't break it. It was just too much of a barrier to really giving these guys something valuable. And so we focus on continuous, what some would look like as boring, germane kind of use cases, like communicating with the customer, which I think is very valuable, but things like communicating in the office more effectively. And we said, gosh, they have these phones. Let's build the software on the application. We will use continuous use cases to build trust and engagement and enablement on every site.
And I think you talk about that point a lot too. You talk about all of this software that's out there, all these tools that technicians have, that they really are episodic in nature, right?
Mhm.
It's okay, I need this particular tool for this job, and we pull it out and use it that one time. And this continuous use case, how do you see XOI being that continuous bridge, if you will,
Yeah.
that's used on every single call that's out there?
Yeah, we kind of talk about it like how are we the single pane of glass? And that
Hmm.
doesn't mean we're going to build all the features that every technician will need for all time, but it does mean that someone can have one simple place that can access the most important things. And so sometimes we're accomplishing that on our own roadmap, sometimes we're accomplishing that in great partnerships. But the average technician uses 9 applications on a job site.
Hmm.
So they're more than their service managers or their owners ever really know. It takes talking to a lot of technicians to kind of learn that and go, gosh, if I'm going here for parts buying and I'm going here for a safety thing and here for quoting, and then I'm using my FSM for this kind of normal stuff, and then I'm jumping over here to a live video support app. The reality is, if you have to go through decision gates to use an application, the technician doesn't want to inherently use technology anyway. They want to fix things. They want to install things correctly. They
Hmm.
didn't take that job to go, gosh, I did this because I just really want to be steeped in technology all day. Now, certainly they can be great technologies that are helpful for their job that they enjoy using. We're saying, hey, we want to be something you can depend on every job site. We can connect to any other application that you have to make it a seamless experience. And now, thanks to our expanding relationship with Daikin, connect you to technical support more effectively, great installation content more effectively. You shouldn't have to go to 9 different applications to do your job on the job site. And that's the goal that we have.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about one of the pieces that is in XOI are the workflows,
Mhm.
right? To be able to create consistency
That's right.
in every single job, but also probably equally as important, maybe more important, is the data capture that
Mhm.
you're getting from the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah. What we found in doing a lot of work with everyone in the ecosystem, from OEMs to distributors to contractors, is there was a very different ways that people were doing things on site. Some people had certain types of training, certain types of certifications. Maybe they shadowed someone for a while, which doesn't happen much anymore, but they were able to kind of learn from them. And so we as we were thinking through how young people learn, we go, look, there's kind of a tick-tock attention span for
Hmm.
young people, right? It's 27 seconds at a time. To give them a 52-minute YouTube video, they're not going to watch it. It's too much. They don't know where to start. If we built workflows, guided operations, where every step has an instructional piece to it. Step 1, here's a 25-second video on how to do it. Now show me you've done it that way.
Hmm.
Step 2, here's a wiring diagram. Now show me how it's been wired that way. It's this kind of micro-learning incremental step process. They put it back in their pocket, they do the thing, they come back, oh yeah, what was this piece? And so it gives us the opportunity to not only guide them in a way that they're used to consuming information, but also collecting information about how those units are performing. OEMs specifically and distributors as well, they kind of have a black box on a job site to some extent. It's like, how are these things really performing? What does the end of life
Hmm.
look like? How are they failing? And so giving those partners the opportunity to say, here's how your equipment performs, here's the steps that any given technician is having with issues with, allows for really quick feedback loops. It's like step 3 is not working for people. We're not getting what we need there. Let's go ahead and adjust that for every user. Now it's out in the field. And so there's that feedback loop that drives adoption in the field as well.
One of the other challenges is we look at the skills gap that's out there,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of experience that's actually leaving the workforce every day, and less experience coming into the workforce. How is XOI kind of helping to retain some of that knowledge and that
Mhm.
expertise for HVAC companies as they're bringing in the next generation of technicians that are going to be out there working in the field?
As I heard a long time ago, when a guy retires, a library burns down. And
Mhm.
that's how it feels. It's like there's 40 years of experience down the drain. And the way that we've really started to attack that problem over the last decade is to really focus in multiple areas. A, how do we take what's in their head as they're working the last few years before they retire, and we start to learn from those best practices and those tricks of the trade. And so because they're doing workflows in every job and they're identifying work for the customer, for the office, maybe their own note taking or documentation, we're able to say, hey, what are the key characteristics of someone like that? And how do we use AI, machine learning, to kind of understand that and apply that to the asset and to the human that may need support? The other thing that we're doing is offering live video support to our customers or empowering them to do it themselves. Or we've got these large virtual technical centers too within customers, OEMs, distributors, where they're not only just doing live video support to help technicians, but we're recording that interaction,
Mhm.
we're learning from it, and then we're delivering it to the rest of that particular technician base. A lot of people would say, oh, FaceTime's free. We use that, or this is free. The reality is, those are single serving interactions.
Right.
You go do that thing and it's done. instead of saying, hey, we're recording it, we learn from it. Now we hope we never have to answer that question again. And as an example, I spoke with one of the OEMs that takes, during busy time, a few thousand calls a day, right? And I said, hey, just gut check this for me. How many of those questions have you answered before? They said of a few thousand calls a day, 80% of those questions they've answered before. That's the industry, right? We're answering the same questions over and over because we don't have a path to go, gosh, can we democratize this in a way that everyone has access to? Because one of the holy grails of the skilled trades gap is self-serve diagnostic. You should be able to take a dude with great attitude, right? You teach them the aptitude, and you go, here are the tools you need to get the job done. AI is not doing it for them. They're not solving the problem for them. They're just saying, hey, this is way too hard to find information, to get smart on a topic. We can deliver you a tool that does that quickly and seamlessly.
So you've been working with Daikin for a couple of years now. And with our tech services department, we've been leveraging XOi in the field to be able to help with our tech support. You've got an exciting announcement as far as where we're taking that relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
What is that announcement that you have for today?
So I think it's really exciting. It's something we've been working really hard on, which is how do we empower really forward-thinking OEMs like Daikin to really deliver on this promise and this belief that earning technician trust is the path to building and growing contractors, distributors, and Daikin as well. I think they understood, and Daikin understands really deeply that, gosh, we got to create best-in-class experiences for technicians on a job site. We got to have best-in-class technical support, installation instructions, documentation. We have to be able to deliver a best-in-class experience, and the reward for that is that we're going to have data to understand how to continue to build the best products on the planet. And the reality of being able to deliver that within this program is saying, hey, we're partnering together to deliver a solution at a really refined price point that allows contractors to have access to this world of his experience that Daikin is promoting and investing behind. I think it says a lot about the brand and the organization. A lot of people talk about these things, but they don't put their money where their mouth is. And I think it says a lot about Daikin investing into this solution alongside of us.
Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you coming in here and spending time with us. We look forward to seeing you and many members from your team in future episodes that we have of the Accelerated HVAC Success program. And if you like this program, please make sure to hit the like button so we can bring you more episodes like this one. Also, make sure to hit the follow button so that you're notified of all of the upcoming episodes that we have. Aaron, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to give our guests?
I do have one final thought.
Okay.
Be grateful. It's a general thing. It's hard to be scared. It's hard to be angry. It's hard to think about the future too stressfully when you're just grateful. I try to do it every day. That's my final word of wisdom.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thanks for having me.